If you like our video, click the button to subscribe to our channel and get easy access to new content. To see our full suite of ad-free video courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides, visit us at www.teachucomp.com. The Brush Settings panel in Photoshop lets you change all the settings of the currently selected painting tool in Photoshop, like the brush tool, for example. To show or hide the brush settings panel in Photoshop, click the Toggle the Brush Settings panel button in the Options bar control panel. If this button doesn't appear in the Options bar control panel for the currently selected tool, then the tool has no brush settings you can change. To apply dual brushes to a brush stroke in Photoshop, click the Dual Brush setting. Doing this also enables this brush setting. The dual brush settings in Photoshop let you overlay secondary brush tip marks to the primary brush tip marks of the brushstroke. These settings determine the appearance of the secondary brush tip and how it blends with the primary brush tip to create the brushstroke. To set the blending mode to use between the two brush tips in Photoshop, select the desired blending mode from the Mode dropdown at the right side of the Brush Settings panel. The default blending mode is Color Burn. To enable or disable random brush flips in the secondary brush tip, check or uncheck the Flip checkbox to the right of the Mode dropdown. To select the secondary brush tip, click to select the desired brush tip choice from the scrollable list. The brush tip settings then appear below the list. To set its size, use the Size slider or enter a value into its adjacent field. To reset the brush tip to its default size after changing it, click the Restore to Original Size button to the left of the size field. To set the spacing of the secondary brush tip, use the Spacing slider or enter a percentage into its adjacent field. To scatter the secondary brush tip marks perpendicular to the brushstroke direction, use the Scatter slider or enter a percentage into its adjacent field. To scatter the secondary brush tip marks, both parallel and perpendicular to the direction of the brushstroke, check the Both Axes checkbox to the left of the Scatter field. To change the number of secondary brush tip marks per step in the brush stroke, use the Count slider or enter a value into its adjacent field. Remember to click the subscribe button to see more of our videos. See our full suite of courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides at www.teachucomp.com.